Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Rehabbing Your Old Rod, the final touches. Today we're going to be talking about X-Flock, which is this stuff right here, and I'll show you how to install it next. Stick around. Last step, here we go. These EVA grips that were on the original rod, obviously the Veracity, I sanded them a little bit. They got some pretty bad damage, so what I'm going to do to finish them off is I'm going to use black X-Flock. Now you can get this stuff in different diameters. This actually may be a little big for these grips, but I think I can get it to shrink down and fit right. The only thing is when you're doing X-Flock is as you shrink it down, this is just nothing more than shrink tape basically. It's a heavy rubber with a little bit of raised design here to increase your grip on the handle. The more you have to shrink it from a diameter standpoint, the more it's going to shrink from a length. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to run this probably a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch longer than I need it to be. So I've got my little scale out. I've got a pair of sharp scissors. I've got the rod set up and my stand. You haven't seen this one. This is the leftover piece from the CRB extension I got. I didn't need the full extension. In fact, it was going to be too long in here and be in the way. So what I did was I cut it. And when I ordered the extension, I also ordered 3 extra stands. I put one of them at the very end so I can work on 8-foot rods without having to move stands around too much. So I took the other 2 stands to make a bench or a rack that will hold it, like my workbench that I use, the wooden one for putting grips on. It won't hold it down. This, because we've got it, launched out there so far, if I took these loose, it's going to lean and fall. Just a little trick that I had some leftover parts and pieces. I made them work. This is a handy dandy thing. So we're going to measure, we're going to cut, we're going to slide it on, and we're going to shrink it. Let's get started. So I got my handy dandy little measuring device here. I'm going to go probably 3/4 to a 1/2 longer than I need, because I think it's going to shrink that much, and I want the end of my X-Flock to stop in this area and maybe have some of this exposed. And I can always trim it with a razor blade after the fact, but I'm trying to get it perfect the first time. So that is 4.2. 0.2. I'm just going to mark it with a pencil. Like this, not real dark, just enough so I can see it. And I can't see it without my glasses. Okay. Now, speed square. Nothing fancy about it. Just going to get a nice straight line to cut. Again, I'm just marking lightly with the pencil. I can see it, you probably can't. Sharp pair of scissors. Okay. Now this is a piece for my butt grip, and that doesn't look right at all. Let me check my measurement. Told you I'd show you everything even when I mess up. So 4.2 would have been there. Nope, I didn't mark it right. Let's try that again. So let's mark 4.2. Speed square again. So push it down flat, get it up tight against it, and mark it. Okay. Cut that square. That looks a lot better. All right, so that's the one for the butt grip. Now we'll measure for the rear grip behind the reel seat. And what I want this X-Flock, because I hold my reels like this. I want this X-Flock up pretty tight, I think. If it's too long, I can always trim it back as long as I do it carefully with a sharp razor blade. Because I palm my reels like this. So yeah, so I'm going to come from here to here. I'm going to give it about 2/10 on that side. I give it about 2/10 on this side. So that's looks like about 3.8. So let's try to measure correctly the first time. 3.8 is there. Let's mark this. Check it again. Measure twice, cut once. I didn't do it right the first time. It's tenths. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 3.8. I don't see my mark again. I must have wiped it off. All right, let's try this again. 3.8. There it is. It was there. I just couldn't see it. All right, so let's square this up. Mark it. Right there. I'll cut it square. Okie doke. Got this piece cut. I'll take it loose out of my stand here. Take that one off. Put the rear grip one on. Put the butt grip back on. Put it back in the stand. And lock it down. Okay, got it locked down. Got it about in position. Time for the heat gun. I'm going to use it very carefully. Working my way around. Shrinking it slowly, and before it gets tight, I'm going to check my final position. So let's get heating. All right, it's getting close. It's looking good. Okay, I like that. All right, now for the rear. I kind of want to position these the same. Try to get it lined up the same anyway. Pretty close to it. And you see how it gets warm and then it reacts very quickly. Lines up fairly well. Put this one just a little bit to tighten it up around the ends. Looks pretty good. We'll check it in a minute and we'll wrap this up. Well, there it is, fellas. A rehabbed old rod. Was a 7.9 Veracity. Red, faded, busted guides. Really had seen its better days, but it's a good blank. Spent some time. A little longer than I planned, but we did a bunch more stuff that I didn't think we were going to do. But it's beautiful now. It's time to put a reel on it and fish it. I still have to put guides on it, but you guys have seen me do enough guides. You don't need to see that in this video, but that's all it takes. A little creativity, a little time, and you've got what I think is absolutely a beautiful rod from an old busted piece of crap that was standing in a corner. So when we come back, we're going to be starting the Rod Building Basics series. I also have to finish up the custom cork video. I've got one more of those for you. But stay tuned. Starting next week, you'll be getting the short bites in the Rod Building Basics series. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.